All right, well, here we are, head and heart, one mind, feel to heal. And this morning I want to start us off with another opportunity to practice, to tune into our heart, to drop into our hearts, and to begin to feel with a moment of gratitude. And why a moment of gratitude? Well, gratitude opens us up to receive. Opens us up to receive insight and revelation. It opens us up to the infinite. It is a direct movement to allowing the infinite to be infinite. Infinite is to be available to the infinite that is flowing through us, that moves us into action. So when we drop into our hearts, when we put our attention on our hearts, and we put all of our energy on our hearts, the emotions of the hearts, like love, like joy, like gratitude, like relief, we are no longer then seeking and waiting on life to give us something to be grateful for. We, in that moment, become grateful to life itself. And because we are grateful, then life gives us something. So and this movement of moving into our hearts and a moment of gratitude, it is essentially us turning on our own Wi-Fi and tuning in to the infinite. So the opportunity then is for us to tune into the good that we desire, to align ourselves with it, because the more we allow ourselves to feel this gratitude, the more available we become to it. So in our experience this morning, do not let your body talk you out of it. In fact, I'm going to invite you to be in it and move into it, maybe in a way that you haven't experienced it before. So here we go. Let us all take this moment then just to take a deep breath, to relax, and simply drop into your heart. That is, put your attention on your heart and all of your energy on your heart. Allow yourself to begin to feel the emotions of the heart, to feel the love and to feel the gratitude that's there. Find it and feel it. Let it well up in you. Feel it. And as we continue to allow ourselves to feel the emotions of the heart and to open up to it even greater, I'm just inviting you to think of a time when someone did what they said they were going to do for you, that affected you in a positive way, that had a positive impact on your life. And be grateful for it. Maybe you're thinking about those who are around you to clean you and change your diaper. They did what they said they were going to do. Maybe you're grateful for the friend who did what they said they were going to do. Maybe you're grateful for your mother. And feel this gratitude in your heart. Allow yourself to feel it, to feel this love in your heart. Feel it in your grateful heart. And if you can, in being grateful, feel it more. Feel it. Yeah. And so now, slowly then, let us begin to bring our attention and our awareness back with our hearts and our minds open and available. Slowly come back, slowly bringing ourselves back, slowly bringing your attention and your awareness back, feeling yourself supported in the chair that you're sitting on and grounded by your feet. Bring your attention back. Come back. Let us all take a collective breath right here then. And I'd like to get started with the message today with a few spiritual principles from Ernest Holmes and what we believe, derivative of or came from what Ernest Holmes wrote some 100 years ago. We do this every Sunday, or I do it every Sunday. You can get a copy of the principles by doing a search online for Ernest Holmes and what we believe, or go to our website. There's a link there that'll lead you to the page to get a copy of what we believe. This morning we are working with spiritual principle number 1, and it reads, we believe in God, the living spirit, almighty one, indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. We believe this one manifests itself in and through all creation, but is not absorbed by its creation. Truly, we believe that the manifest universe is the body of God. It is the logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of God. And spiritual principle number 2, we believe in the individualization of the spirit in us, and that all people are individualizations of the one spirit. Spiritual principle number 8, we believe that the universal spirit, which is God, operates through a universal mind, which is the law of God, and that we are surrounded by this creative mind, which receives the direct impress of our thought and acts upon it. And finally, spiritual principle number 9, we believe in the healing of the sick and the control of conditions through the power of this mind. I forgot to say something when I first got up here. The meditation that Callista does, it is not at 9, it's at 8. On Wednesday. Okay, so our theme for the month, feel to heal. You know, earlier on, or shortly after I completed school to get my master's degree and my ministerial license, I went to a retreat for ministers. And this retreat was put on for ministers by ministers, and there was ministers facilitating the retreat. And the retreat was to talk about being a minister and what it's like, and a whole bunch of stuff. But anyway, there was a discussion there around Sunday messages. And what they said was, or one of the facilitators said or suggested that if you want people to feel you, when you do your Sunday messages, they said that you should talk about or let your messages reflect what you are growing through in your life so that people could feel you, right? And so it was just an indicator then that there was, the option to go to the mountaintop was out. That my life would be unfolding in real time in front of you all in some way. Maybe you knew it, or maybe you knew it, or maybe you didn't, but now you do. But that there was no place for me to hide, right? That the mountaintop really is this world, this earth, these streets, that door with you people, and the people that are around me, that is the mountaintop. In other words, what they were suggesting was that that we are to bring the light to the areas of darkness in our life. That is really what ministering is about. To be an example of it, to demonstrate it, to inspire people and to encourage people that this is a practice of bringing the light into the dark areas of our life. And this surely is what the journey of oneness means. It is a journey to find our inner light. To find our inner light. To find your own inner light and then begin to affirm it for yourself. I am light. I am light. To remember that this light, this inner light, to remember that I am light, to remember that I am human, and to remember that although I am human, I am divine. The sacred journey of oneness. In Living the Science of Mind, this morning I want to start us out with a reading from Ernest Holmes entitled God, Your Impersonal Self. I'm reading from pages 130 and 131. I love this reading. He says, I am within you is the only presence there is. I create innumerable centers of my consciousness personified as people, yet I am is the thread of a unity running through all, binding all back to myself, because I am a perfect oneness. All of me exists everywhere. Wherever you recognize me, there I am. And whether or not you recognize me, I am still there. This divine visitor, which is your true self, and which is that which I am, is both the one who stands at the door and knocks, and the one who opens the door. He says, it is the glory of this recognition which has given to the enlightened true mastership. Do not look for masters outside of me or mediators between yourself and myself. There is but one self who needs no mediator. This self is immediate, present, and available. Any thought or belief which would seek to separate that which I am from that which you are would be an illusion, no matter how lofty its concept or how sacred its purpose, for it would seek to deny the ever-present I am, the completeness of my perfection, the God within you, the inspired thought back of your act. He says that within each one of us, dwelling at the center of our every soul, he says that the infinite is dwelling at the center of every soul, human yet divine, infinite yet flowing through that which is apparently finite, unmanifest yet forever manifesting, birthless and deathless yet forever being born, timeless. I am forever creating time. And you, the expression of myself, appear to be separated from me merely because you are a unique manifestation of myself. For I am that which you are and which all people are. I am in all and I am all. When the recognition comes within you of this I am, that which I am, you will have discovered your true Savior. I am light. It is more than mere sentiment. I am light. It is sweet sentiment. More than just words. I am light. It is a sweet sentiment. It is sacred words. It is words filled with power. It is more than mere words. It is a sweet sentiment. And so with that as our backdrop and our theme for the month, Feel to Heal, feeling is very important to us. Those of us who call ourselves metaphysicians, feeling for us is no small matter. As I've said the last couple of weeks, it is a holy matter. As a matter of fact, it is the heart of the matter. Feeling. It is a sacred practice. It is our willingness to admit pain and sorrow and anger in our lives. It is our willingness to admit disappointment in our lives and not to bury it and not to hide it and not to deny it. It is an invitation for us to feel and to give our feelings, whatever it is that we're feeling, to give it words, because it's necessary. When we don't allow ourselves to feel, we end up being bitter and resentful. And this bitter and resentment, then, as I said last week, that what you feel, it either infects or it perfects. And so if you're feeling bitterness and resentment, then you are infecting everything around you with bitterness and resentment, because it's how you feel. And so how you feel is either infecting or perfecting. I said 3 weeks ago that feeling that it is an indictment upon one's faith. The invitation for us to begin to feel and not to downplay whatever is going on in our lives it is an indictment upon your faith. Just how faithful are you? Just how much faith do you have in yourself? That whatever it's transpiring in your life, that you will be able to handle it, that you'll be able to affirm, not just with sentiment, but as a sweet, sweet endearment that I am life. How much faith do you have in yourself? How much faith do you have in others? How much faith do you have in life? How much faith do you have in God? How much faith do you have in yourself? It's an indictment upon your faith. How much faith do you have that everything is going to be all right? It's our own bitterness and our own resentment then. So we have to really be paying attention to our faith, because it's our own bitterness and our own resentment that is the cause of what we feel. And I said the last couple of weeks that you and I, we are responsible for what we feel. We are responsible for how we feel. In fact, I said how you feel is the cause of how you feel. You create what you feel and how you feel. Ernest Holmes says that while we admire the intellect is not the creative factor in the universe. Rather, it is feeling that is creative. You're responsible for how you feel, because how you feel is the creative factor within you. And so if you are feeling stuck, if you're feeling bitter, if you're feeling mad, you're creating bitterness. Though you might be holding an idea of sweetness, if you feel bitter, you are creating more bitterness. You're creating more anger. You're creating more resentment. So what this means then is that we have to be willing to change our energy. We got to be willing to change our vibe, because your energy affects everything around you. We have to be willing to move then beyond mere sentiment that I am light, and lean into it as sweet sentiment. I am light. What am I talking about? I'm talking about when something happens that makes you feel some kind of way. I'm talking about when you start to think about something that's already happened, that's making you feel some kind of way. That you just don't fall prey, that you just don't fall prey to calling it good when it ain't good. When you've been thinking about what happened over and over and over again, and somebody asks you how you feel, that you just don't say, I'm good. Mere sentiment. I'm good. Y'all know what I'm saying? Mere sentiment. I'm good. Our theme is calling us to go beyond mere sentiment, I'm good. Because the moment you say I'm good, you've forgotten that you're divine. We give way more credence to what happens outside of us than to what happens inside of us. I'm good. We give way more credence to everything that's out there and not as much time and attention to the inner sanctuary that is within us. No, I'm not good. When something happens and I'm in my feelings, I'm not good. And I got to be willing to say, I'm not good. Otherwise, I can't say I am light. So, a reading from Howard Thurman here this morning, titled The Outer Life and the Inward Sanctuary. The inward sanctuary, he says, I determined to live the outer life in the inner sanctuary. Often it's very hard for me to realize that I am one. The outer life seems utterly outer. It seems a part of a separate order. It is made up of things I do, of my relationships of one kind or another with work, play, job, people, and things. The standard by which the outer is judged tends to be an artificial standard, made up of that which is convenient, practical, and expedient. I'm good. The outer seems public. It seems ever to be the external net of physical relationships. The inward sanctuary is my sanctuary. It is the place where I keep my trust with all my meanings and my values. It is the quiet place where the ultimate issues of my life are determined. What I know of myself, my meaning, what I know of God, His meaning or its meaning, all this and much more is made clear in my secret place. It seems strangely incongruous often to bring into my secret place the rasping, gritty noises of my outer life. Again, this may be for me merely an alibi, for I know that in the searching light of my inward sanctuary, all the faults, limitations, and evil of my outer life stand clearly revealed for what they are. I determined to live the outer life in the inward sanctuary. The outer life must find its meaning, the source of its strength in the inward sanctuary. And this is done. As this is done, the gulf between outer and inner will narrow, and my life will be increasingly whole and one piece. What I do in the outer will be blessed by the holiness of the inward sanctuary, for indeed it shall all be one. We spend way more time and attention, give way more credence to what's happening out there, to the outer, and not enough time and attention to the inner sanctuary. Just how faithful are you? Just how much faith do you have in yourself to deal with the outer? How much faith do you have in life? How much faith do you have in another to deal with the outer, to bring the outer into the inner sanctuary? How much faith do you have in yourself to bring what she said and what he did into your inner sanctuary and to be present with it and to realize that it's one? It's an indictment upon our faith. Just how faithful are you, Twana? How much faith do you have in yourself? And how much faith do you have in others? Just when are you going to stop blaming God and stop blaming others for how you feel? How much faith do you have? Or do you just have alibis? Oh, I got a reason. You don't know, Rev, I got a reason to feel the way I'm feeling. Way more time and attention to the outer. This is how we end up in a battle with ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Where the divine self is saying to the human self the words of Lauryn Hill. Y'all know the song, X Factor. She says, it could all be so simple. This is divine talking to the human. It could all be so simple, but you rather make it hard. Loving you is like a battle, and we both end up with scars. That's the divine self talking to the human self. It could all be so simple, but you rather make it hard. You rather deal with mere sentiment, I'm good, rather than keep it simple. I am light. I am light. You find your divine self expressing those lyrics, you know. But our goal is to bring the outer into the inner, to bring the outer world into the inner sanctuary, to deal with what she said and what he said until you can get complete in what you said. You can get complete in what your divine self is trying to say to your human self. Till you can settle your human self down long enough so that you can receive insight and revelation and inspiration, so that you don't have to feel like you got to go to the mountaintop, but you can realize that you're already on the mountaintop, that this place, this world, that these people, that those doors, that this place, it is my mountaintop. When I go home to 8311 with the woman that's waiting on me, that's my mountaintop. I ain't got nowhere else to go. I ain't going nowhere else. You are my mountaintop. You are my mountaintop. And when I'm not good, I'm going to realize and say I'm not good, so that I can affirm that I am light. It's not mere sentiment. It is sacred and holy. If you're going to say it, mean it. If you're going to say it, mean it. I am light. I know, Al, you ain't with me, but I'm ready to move to the music. Well, we start to live in such a way that not only do we affirm that we are human, but we begin to affirm, and I am divine. I'm human, yet I'm divine. I'm human, yet I'm divine, where the two are no longer seemingly two, but truly, truly, they are one, where the outer and the inner is no longer separate, but the outer and the inner are one. I am light. And so let me remind us all, as we journey on throughout our week, you are already on the mountaintop. No need for mere sentiment, I'm good. Let your life be filled with the sweet sentiment of, I am light. And so it is.